Hi guys, welcome back to another Bourbon Santa video where I like to make bourbon dreams come true. We got a little dangerous situation over here, but today we are going to review, in the way of a blind flight, 4 different batches of Stagg Junior. We've got Stagg Junior Batch 9, which I only have a sample of. Thank you for sending me that. A wonderful friend sent me that. And we're going to compare Batch 9, which is one of the best batches of Stagg Junior, to Batch 12, Batch 13, and Batch 14. And see which one. These are the same whiskey. I mean, these are all Buffalo Trace juice. They're all around the same age, very close proof point, within a couple points. I don't think I'm going to be good enough to pick out which batch is which, but I will give you my impressions and we'll talk about the differences between them and we'll decide which one I like the best out of these 4, out of 9, 12, 13, and 14. So let's do this. This is a blind flight, by the way. They're all marked on the bottom and they're marked on the bottoms of the bottles, so I can see which one's which when we're all done. Okay, this one is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. It's cinnamon, it's buttered bread, it's dark and rich, and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'm going to nose all of them, and then we're going to go back through and taste and see what we come up with here. This one is a little fruitier. This one's leaning a little bit into red fruit. The cinnamon toast is still there. The almost Cinnamon Toast Crunch. This one's got a little more, a little graininess. Just a little, not a young graininess per se, but just a little bit of cereal, a little bit of grain. Definite red fruit. It's got a little cherry. It's got some vanilla happening. A little bit of oak bitter. Nice little amount of oak. Third glass. Okay, now this one. Third glass is a bit different than the previous 2. It's a little lighter. It's a little more rounded, a little smoothed off. I'm not necessarily saying that that's better, but it's a noticeable difference. This one is more, I'm getting notes of chocolate. I'm getting a nice cherry, and it's almost like this has the cinnamon toasted bread, but the bread is a different kind of bread. Almost a marbled, the dark and light marbled bread. I think the dark part is rye. I forget what that's called. Almost along those lines. This one also has a slightly more ethanol, just a little more alcohol ding. All right, let's move on to the 4th one. Okay, this one has a lot more pronounced cherry, and it's also got a greener note, almost, I say green, but I don't mean young. I mean like evergreen, like a little bit more of a rye note. Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's a little more rye, a little more cherry. Sweet oak. Sweet oak. All right, so now I'm going to run back the other way, tasting them, and then we'll start A/B comparing. Oh, wow. That is, woo. Wow. The flavors, the mouth experience, the flavor does this like stepped ramp where when you first take it into your mouth, it's, you have a flavor profile happening, and then it ramps up, and then right as you're transitioning from the palate into the finish, it ramps up again. Dang. Okay, second sip, I'm getting a lot more caramel and butter and creaminess, and that cherry is like just floating in there. And it's almost got a chocolate malt, almost like a chocolate malt note on the palate. Let's go back. Number 3. Okay, this one has more cinnamon on the palate. It doesn't do the ramping thing. It's nice and rounded and just gives you a real nice profile. This one has a lot of chocolate and excuse me, breathing wrong. Has a lot of chocolate and also a nice bready rye note that sticks out a little bit on the palate. Oh yeah. All 4 of these are spectacular. Spectacular. That's why Stagg Junior is so hunted for, because it's such a high quality bottle. I know in controlled states you're going to spend closer to $50-$60. In non-controlled states you're looking at anywhere from $80 to $130 for a Stagg. On secondary you're looking at drastically more, which is just that's silly. Once you get above 100, I don't know if Stagg Junior is really worth that much. But then I also have to say that Batch 12, a previous bottle of Batch 12, beat the 2018 GTS, George T. Stagg, multiple times in blind tastings at my house. So people pay a heck of a lot of money for GTS, and this bottle goes for $100. To me, it's a no-brainer value-wise. Number 2, let's see what we got here. This is that nice bready note. On the palate, this one's much simpler than D and C. Much simpler. There's not as much going on. It has a real flat flavor profile. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't do anything. It hits you with a couple notes and then just goes straight into the finish. Cinnamon. Like brown sugar dissolved in water. Like a paste. Like a brown sugar paste. It's got that bready note on the nose, but then on the flavor, there's a syrup note, and there's an definite oiliness to it. The mouthfeel is good. It just doesn't have as much going on as the other 2 that we've gone through so far. Back to A. Okay, A is sharper and a little spikier. A has nice caramel, nice cherry, nice bready notes. It's definitely got a lot of oak bitter happening. It's a little spikier though. It's a little spikier and it's flatter on the flavor profile on the palate. And then the finish in it is just prickly pear, like a cactus in your chest, just giving you prickly alcohol, ethanol spikes in your throat. All right, so automatically I can narrow this down to 2. Just going through them so far. My 2 favorites so far are going to be C and D. Let's A/B these things and see what the final winner is. On the nose, D is less sharp, and it's got a lot of real rounded flavors happening, and it's not spiky in any way. C's wonderful. C's absolutely wonderful on the palate and on the nose. I mean, it's a little spikier. Yeah. D just goes, hello. Oh, hi. Oh, hi. It just ramps and ramps on the palate, and then it goes into a really nice, soothing, creamy, like viscous, oily finish that's just all brown sugar and oak and creamy and almost like a marmalade. It's got some, dark fruits happening, but it's like a jelly, like a preserves. Yeah. Okay. C is not my favorite. C is not my favorite. Okay. So, first place is going to be D. D's in my first place. C is second place. And then A is going to be, let's do it this way. First place, second place, A is in last, B is in third place. So, let's see where they all shook out. This is batch 13. I'm sorry, batch 14. Batch 14 is B. So batch 14 is in third place. Interesting. Batch 13 is A, which is in last place. Batch 13 is in last place. Wow. Okay. And then batch 12 is D. Oh, batch D. Batch 12 won. Batch 12 is my winner. And batch 9. Yeah, batch 9 is in second place. Interesting. So I placed them batch 12 in first place, batch 9 in second place, batch 13, I'm sorry, batch 14 in third place, and batch 13 in last place. That didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. I A/B'd batch 12 and batch 9 a few days ago, and I thought batch 9 was a little better. But today, batch 12 took the win. I mean, these are the same whiskeys. These things are so... I mean, I'm having to nitpick differences between them. I'm having to really split hairs when I say that one is better than another. I mean, we're talking a minuscule difference here. Minuscule. Interesting. Well, I'm glad to know that. Batch 12 is still the best batch, in my opinion. Today, it even beats batch 9. Wow. Well, that was fun. ADHD Whiskey just did a blind comparison between batch 13 and batch 14 on his YouTube channel. Go give him a watch. Tell him I said hi, and check out his comparison. I won't spoil it and say which one he thought was better between those two. But this morning when I was going for a run, I had my earbuds in and I listened to his comparison between the two, and it was really fun. He's hilarious. Go check him out. ADHD Whiskey. Well, until next time, keep hunting for batch 12. Have a great day.